Alright fellas, here we are back at Pokemon Masters, and so tomorrow we're going to be getting the re-release of Neo Champion Marnie and Galarian Moltres, alongside all of the Galar Trio story events and whatnot. I haven't got the page pulled up, but we'll be getting the Galar Trio reruns. They are only lasting a week, man! 1 week! Hello? That's crazy. Oh no. So, I can't really give too much recommendation in terms of summoning. Literally, the only thing I can say is wait for the anniversary. If you like the anniversary characters, go for them instead. If you like the Galar Trio more, go for them. Because we will, of course, get at least the announcement of the anniversary characters before before these characters leave on August 28th. It's crazy. The fact that we got only a week to pull for them, that's crazy. You could have at least done like 2 weeks or something. Whatever, man. Sure, I guess. But I guess we're going to look at Marnie's kit. So, of course, Marnie hasn't gotten any, I'm not going to say any significant upgrade, but she got the support EX roll, right? That's a good upgrade, of course. She didn't get anything since ever. Like, she didn't get a great expansion, she didn't get, like, a special lucky skill, or, whatever, right? She got an EX roll, which, of course, is good. Right, so that is nice. She got the EX roll. And how does support benefit her? I think support mostly benefits her, obviously, in bulk, right? That's the big thing. Support EX, of course, as well. I think this mostly helps out like her legendary gauntlet potential, if anything, but of course it does still apply a support EX buff for any other battle you do her with, or use her in, rather. So I do think, of course, the support EX roll is going to be just generally helpful, and of course, being a striker, they tend to have squishy defenses naturally, so the buff to that is very, very helpful. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and I guess look at Marnie's kit at the different move levels and whatnot. So Marnie, of course, is a striker dark type special strike, right? She was the best, probably still definitely still the best dark striker in the game, like no doubt. She is that good. She's still really strong. Ignoring the fact that we have not gotten a striker since her, so of course it's not really too hard to maintain your position. I would still say probably the best dark damage dealer in the game as well. Like, of course, she's still got explosive damage. So just keep that in mind. Looking at her stats, at level 146 star EX, she's got 828 health, which is very good, 177 in both defenses, 542 special attack, and 311 speed. Very good offensive stat, very, very good. And then, of course, the defensive stats are pretty decent for striker levels. And with the support EX roll, she gains even more health, and even more bulk stats, and with max investment, 568 special attack, 922 health, 223 in both defenses, and 325 speed. Very, very good all-around stats. Of course, the defense and special defense could be better, right? But she's a striker, so I'm not complaining at all on that front. That is very, very nice. And of course, she does get the support EX on the same move, so that's pretty cool too. Her main form of damage is Fiery Wrath, which is a 4-gauge AoE move with 155 minimum base power that has a 20% flinch chance. Nothing too crazy there, but it is still a pretty good damaging move, right? About the same level of power as Signature Nimona. But of course, 568 special attack stat. That's where the big difference is that her special attack is like 200 points higher than Nimona's. That's what makes this character still really crazy, is her high base offensive stat. Protect for damage guard. Fierce Fiery Wrath. Oh, okay, I guess I should go back to Protect. I probably shouldn't just skip that, right? This is good for Survive and Sync moves, right? Like, Survive and any potential very dangerous move, Protect can be extremely good for. You've seen, if anyone has, like, watched usage of Champion Red in any higher tier content, because, there's tons of videos of that, you can see that him utilizing Protect in some areas has been very crucial to surviving in, ultimate battles, and extreme battles probably as well, off-region, that type of thing. That's where Protect is very, very helpful. Anyway, moving on, she's got Fierce Fiery Wrath. This is her magnum opus of her kit, probably. A 200 base power AoE move that is activated whenever the team uses a sync move, and is deactivated when the move is used. So it's one of those moves like Champion Silver and Ray. Marnie invented this, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right. Marnie invented this this little gimmick of every time you use the sync move, you'll be getting this super high-powered buddy move. She was the original creator of that. It's got a 50% chance of making the target flinch. It ignores passes that would reduce the damage of the move. It ignores passes that would protect the target against a crit. It ignores endurance, and the power and chances of applying additional effects are not lower if there are multiple targets. And the attack's power is increased by 20% when she's in a pinch. That is nuts. A 200 base power move that is not split has a 50% raw flinch chance and ignores, and it's got piercing blows too, right? So it hits through things like Latias's Fortification, Fluid Fortification, it hits through Acute Senses, all of that stuff, right? It's a great buddy move, like no doubt, very, very good buddy move. Damage is still absurd. It makes Ray's triple arrows look like a pillow. I'm kidding, right? But like that's kind of what I'm referencing. Is this move is stupidly strong for sure. She's got her trainer move, Triumphant Spirit, which raises her special attack by 6, her speed by 4, and raises her evasion by 2, and applies endurance. She takes equal to 10% health of remaining HP in damage. Not bad, for sure. Special attack buff, speed buff, evasion. Evasion's good for the gauntlet mostly, and some potential, clutch dodges. Speed, of course, is good for self-sufficiency, same with special attack, and endurance, of course, for that, natural survivability. Could abuse the endurance to be able to get to that 20% extra damage for when she's in a pinch, right? If you want to go for that type of route, definitely very possible. And then again, takes 10% equal to HP. You think this would be a drawback, but this is actually a built-in mechanic of her kit. Spike with Grit. Restores HP by 4, Mind over Matter 4, whatever. Mind over Matter 4, we're increasing her special attack by 40% whenever her HP is reduced. If she has taken 1 damage, if her 922 HP stat, or whatever it is with gear, goes to 921, this will activate. And this increases her raw special attack stat by 40%. That puts her well over 700 special attack, and that is nuts. That is where Marnie's high power comes from. It's not from her moves-based power or her multipliers or whatever, which those do factor, right? Of course, her moves being relatively high-powered is good, as well as, again, having some multipliers. But the raw special attack, like, what is 40% of 56? That'd be 20, that'd be like around 30, right? So you're pretty much over 800 special attack. You may as well be nearly 900, if not at 900. It's a little good, man. That's a little good. Like, what can you say? That's pretty damn crazy. So the fact that she's able to reach that level of strength, good lord, man. Good lord. What were they thinking when they made this kit? She's got the highest raw special attack stat in the game with this passive activated, and the fact that there's still characters that can kind of reach like 700, I think, is nuts, naturally. Whatever. So, this is where a lot of her power comes from, and it's really good. She's got Spike with Grit, which restores HP by 40% of her maximum when her HP drops to half or below each battle the first time. So this is her big method of restoration. Again, combined with like Protect as well as her evasion and her heal here at half health, she's got a lot of sustainability for a striker, which is really, really good. And again, she does benefit from having lower amounts of HP. So the fact that this doesn't put her exactly to full, but it does restore her by a very significant amount is really, really nice. And then increases her special moves next by 3 when she drops to half or below each battle the first time. Big way to utilize this is if you know you're about to drop to half or below, queue up your buddy move, and then you get a free +3 special moves next boosted Fierce Fiery Wrath. That's about the best way to make a use of it, I would say. If you can perfectly time that, it's really going to be a nuclear hit. Like, I'm telling you, this move is still one of the strongest buddy moves in the game. It's that crazy. Despite the fact that Marnie is, at this point, a year and a half old, she still hits like a fucking semi-truck, man. It's crazy. Very, very strong. Very, very strong passives for enhancing damage with Mind Over Matter and Spike with Grit. And again, sustainability too. And then Sinister Aura, reducing sync countdown by 1 on entry and raises her crit by 3 on entry as well. So she doesn't need crit buffs. She maxes her special attack. She maxes her crit. She gets +4 speed, +2 evasion. The only thing she doesn't give herself is defenses, which is, that could be big, right? But still, like, that's not that bad to deal with when a lot of good defensive supports exist. And then Galar Spirit, which of course is the Galar Master passive for up to a maximum power buff of 50% with all Galar allies and 31% damage reduction for special attacks. So special damage reduction and special damage power-ups. That combines to make her even more strong. Her naturally raw high special attack being, again, 800 to 900, that range, with her 200 base power buddy move here, 155 base power DPS move. Her special moves next, burst damage when she drops to below half, and again, that master passive on top of it with like critical strike 2 as a lucky skill. Even just at 1 out of 5, Marnie's damage is going to look quite impressive. At the very least, a new player is going to be getting a good bit of usage out of Marnie, just because of the fact that she's got that she's got that high power bar, I guess, at 1 out of 5, despite, you know, not needing dupes or anything like that. That's very, very good. Even if it's, you know, not like absurd at 1 out of 5, it's not like a top 5 damage dealer at 1 out of 5. Doesn't matter, because that power threshold is enough to help a lot of people out against a lot of content, frankly. And of course, she gets better with dupes, right? 1 out of 5 isn't that noteworthy, Unflappable and Dauntless or whatever, but 2 out of 5, she gets Slippery 2 on Protect, Evasive Sync Up 3, Speedy Entry 2, Power Reserves 3, Turn Move NPR, and Fire Wrath Gauge Refresh. These are very good gauntlet abilities. Evasive Sync Up, of course, does give her a multiplier, which is, you know, fine, I would say. She doesn't have any innate multiplier at all, but she does have the support EX, so getting a little bit of damage extra on top of that is nice, I suppose, you know, if you're going to run that. But for the most part, these are, again, gauntlet abilities. Churn with NPR is good for buffing the evasion. Same thing with Slippery 2 on Protect. Speed Entry 2 for a bit, I guess a bit more speed, but mostly you're going to be tying it to the NPR, so wouldn't really worry too much about that. Power Reserves 3, this is more so if you're going to, again, try to make abuse of the power buff here. And if you are in, like, lower HP in some game mode and you can, you know, work around that relatively easily, like you're not about to get hit by a sync move or something like that, Power Reserves 3 for a 30% damage multiplier on top of the 20% increase in damage on her buddy move if you are in that pinch state. You can really, really work around that. I'm pretty tempted to candy my Marnie to 2 out of 5 if I don't get enough copies of her off the daily discounts, which I doubt I'll get any anyway, because only a week of being active, but still, whatever. So you can work around Power Reserves here. Power Reserves doesn't tend to be looked at too much, but with Marnie specifically, you can probably play around with it a little bit and make it work very well in the right situation. And then, again, Gauge Refresh on Fiery Wrath. Again, more of a gauntlet ability. That gauge efficiency is very nice. She's able to buff her speed fine, but again, having that gauge recharge is very helpful. So we do like to see that. Overall, not a bad 2 out of 5, mostly for the gauntlet, but even outside of that, you can kind of work around Power Reserves and Evasive Sync Up and whatever else. 3 out of 5, of course, does give her pretty much everything you would want to see, though, right? Wounded Power 3, Wounded Sync Up 5, Churn with Propulsion 9, Aggravation 2 on Fiery Wrath, Endure again, Adrenaline 1, and Soften Up in the 2 sync nodes. Marnie's sync nuke nodes are not that crazy. Wounded Sync Up 5 and Evasive Sync Up 3 are not crazy. 80% multipliers, you know, 100% if you run Critical Strike 2 or whatever. Not crazy. And I would still say even with her high special attack stat, it's not that crazy either, but you do got to factor, like, this isn't a striker with, like, 400 something special attack or physical attack or whatever. This is a character with 800 some, probably about double that offensive stat. So I would say at least consider that when you roll your eyes at these multipliers. I'm not going to say Marnie's damage is like absurd for a sync nuke, because it's probably not. It's probably like an average sync nuke at best. But the fact that you can run so little multipliers and still have that level of strength does go to show that, you know, look at the other aspects of a character before just looking at, you know, the multipliers they get on the grid. Because I'd say that makes a pretty big difference. At least I'm assuming so. I haven't fact-checked in a while. It's been a good minute since I've looked at this character's actual capabilities, but I can assume as much. I do think she still does having at least an okay nuke. I don't think it's going to be that bad, especially with support X on top of it the first time. Endure again, guaranteeing herself to apply endurance again after her endurance procs. Very clutch ability, of course. Again, this mostly just helps you stay at that level of that pinch state where her buddy move will be powered up on top of, again, Power Reserves 3 here in the grid. So if you are able to, again, stay at that low level for as long as possible, you're going to be getting a very large amount of power before Marnie either goes down or before you're forced to heal out of that pinch state. So make as much abuse of this as possible if you do opt to run this node, and you can get some very, very, very explosive damage out of it. Again, very high offensive stat combined with a powered up buddy move on top of its already very high power. We gotta love to see that. We really do. So a very, very solid node. And again, for survivability, it is nice too. Again, in the gauntlet, you know, having 2 uses of endurance is probably helpful there. Plus the protect for damage guard. You can probably work around that, again, combined with evasion too. Only thing I'm worried about that is they, of course, you know, the sync cycles. You've got 4 turns until the enemy sinks. So you can survive until then. That's what I'm kind of noting or understanding. Speaking of Gauntlet, Aggravation 2 on Fiery Wrath. Very good outside of it, of course. Very nice for pretty much any event. The only bad thing is that you can't really control where this aggravation lands, so you are mostly going to be stuck to hoping that it hits the right opponent outside of the Legendary Gauntlet. But in the Legendary Gauntlet, of course, mostly facing one opponent or, facing multiple enemies and flinching pretty much any of them is relatively helpful in some aspect. Having that 60% flinch chance on Fire Wrath is so helpful. Again, helps her sustainability even more, which she has already been shown to have very good sustainability for a striker. But having that flinch on top of it is very, very helpful for, mitigating damage as much as possible and getting as many turns in to be able to KO the enemy without, again, mitigating all that damage. Gotta love that. Wounded Power 3, very basic node, but very strong node. A 30% direct power buff whenever her HP is reduced. Powered up Fiery Wrath, Fierce Fiery Wrath. There's not much else to say besides the fact that this is a very good and consistent node for power. Combined with Power Reserves 3, you can get some stupid levels of damage out of Fierce Fiery Wrath. We love to see that. This character's damage potential is insane. And again, combine that with the +3 special moves next, the first time she drops below half HP, and the Galar Master passive, Mind Over Matter. Despite being a year and a half old, Marnie's damage is still going to look crazy. I love this character. I don't have her duped out, but I still love looking at this stuff and being like, okay, she's stupid. Trigger Propulsion, combine that with the Sync Countdown from her Sinister Aura passive. You can do a little bit of sync ramping. Of course, Akari does have -1 Sync Countdown on entry from the Survey Core Teachings passive, so you get a full rotation of Sync Countdown with that if you do opt to run all of that together. There are other sync ramping characters like Archer being a sprint character. Kalem's got, what's it called in propulsion on the trainer move. And a few other characters probably can make utilization of sync countdown in some aspect or another as well. So combine them with Marnie, you can get some good sync ramping, at least at the start. Not too bad for any shorter content. We'll take that, sure. And then Adrenaline 1 for pretty much the same thing, and then Soften Up 1 for guaranteed crits. Mostly useful for the damage challenge, I would say, but of course guaranteeing crits in general is relatively nice. But mostly something I'm probably not going to be looking at personally too much outside of the damage challenge. Anyway. So, Marnie's got great potential. Despite, again, being a year and a half old, very good damage potential, and she's only gotten better since her release. With the release of Akari as a very consistent Dark Zone damage dealer, again, on top of, I say, that's kind of redundant, but like, Dark Zone damage dealer. She's got good damage, she sets Dark Zone. She can also debuff special defense if you do get her to 5 out of 5. Ignore the fact, negative 37 energy, oh my god. That's crazy. I don't know why it's even like that. But yeah, you can debuff special defense with Akari, which is going to be directly powering up Marnie, which is nice. So despite the fact that Akari is a physical damage dealing leaning unit, well, just straight up, not even leaning, just straight up there, she's going to still be a very, very good teammate for Marnie. Same thing with Kalem, despite the fact he's more physical leaning. Because of the Dark Zone buffing physical moves next and whatnot. Still not a bad partner outright. And of course we did get the release of Bryson Man with his Dark rebuff and special defense debuffs as well. So, and just another partner that's going to be helping out Marnie. So since her release, Marnie has only really gotten better. Again, she got the Support EX roll. Cyrus also got the Field EX roll, which is going to be a good buff. And then Akari and Bryson also very, very good partners to combine with her for just extra power and extra power for the team and extra power for Marnie directly. So we do love to see that. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I say Marnie has been buffed quite a bit, and has, I wouldn't even say aged. Like her prowess in ultimate battles is still pretty decent. I'd say she's very good against Giovanni, right? He's being Dark weak. I would say that with the support EX role now, she's probably got quite a bit better potential against other ultimate battles, or at least at the very least, clears she may already be able to do are far more consistent, probably. Like combining her with like Cygnus Mina or something for like Annabelle or maybe even Palmer or whatever. I could see that being very, very good. I do think that with the right partners, of course, right dedicated partners, she could be good for most ultimate battles just in general. Having Protect, she might be able to cook against Nolan. I don't really know. There's the endurance with that character is so annoying, but hey, I'm not really one to talk there. So hey, still a good character. Only really been better since release, especially with the release of the Dark High Score event, of course, so she was good there. Ultimate Battle, she's still good in. The Damage Challenge, she was good in. That buddy move hits like a truck. there's not much else really to say, just besides the fact that Marnie is still a really good character. And if you want a good damage dealer, she is worth going for. Still one of the best damage dealers in the game, I would definitely say so. So hey, if you still want Marnie, even a year and a half after release, I can't really blame you. I would say wait for the anniversary first, and make sure you're going to finalize your summons, but can't really blame anyone who wants to get this character just because of how easy she is to use and how explosive she can be. As for how to build the grid, yeah, man, figure that one out. I would, of course, build for Wounded Sync Up, Wounded Power here, rather, for the extra damage. And then after that, it really depends on what you want to do. If you want to go for the Sync move, go for the Sync move. Evasive Sync Up, all that stuff, grab that. If you want to go for some more utility, like maybe Fire Wrath Aggravation or something like that, you can do that too. Personally, I really like the idea of going for like Endure Again on top of like Power Reserves or something like that. Probably just skip out on Wounded Sync Up, I would say. I probably wouldn't even pick up Evasive Sync, but you do kind of want the Endure Again, so at that point you may as well just pick it up, especially if you do plan on investing in Marnie's EX role, so I just may as well, frankly. Sadly, 12 energy, man. That is depressing. That's fine. You can get rid of the sync node, I guess. If you do want to get to Marnie to 4 out of 5, if you want to get Marnie to 4 out of 5, you can run a grid like this. That works. Run special tech node instead. That's better. Sure, man. Whatever. Okay. I don't know. There's many different ways you can build this character, but I do think potentially building for her damage may be your best bet. These nodes all being really helpful for that. In the Gauntlet, of course, she still does have the good nodes of Slippery 2, Training with NPR, Aggravation, probably Endure Again as well. All very, 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 very strong stuff. So we take all of that. But yeah. Let me know what you think about Marnie down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this character's capabilities still a year and a half later. I have her 1 out of 5 still, and I still really, really think her damage is impressive. Using her in the Dark High Score event has mostly just confirmed that to me, where like I was pretty much at my wit's end trying to deal with the last 2 stages of that, because I spent so much effort and so much time on the first 3 stages. I was like, just give me the points so I can get to top 100. And Marnie was like, okay, I'm going to do 500 strength. That's whatever. She effortlessly beat it. I was like, 600 strength. She effortlessly beat that. 700 strength. I don't know if I did 700 strength, but I beat it with like 600 something strength just because I was like, okay, this is way too easy. I got to get more points out of this. And that's just my personal experience with using Marnie. So I do plan to put a showcase for her because she is the only one of the Galar Trio I have. I did get her off of a daily discount. Didn't really care for her that much on release. Still don't care for her too much now as like a character or a pair, but I have definitely gained a lot of admiration for the sync pair at the very least, just because of how impressive they are. So I will be putting out at least a 1 out of 5 showcase. I'll think about 2 out of 5ing her and DXing her. I just might do it. I'm not sure. Sorry, 2 out of 5 EX roll. But yeah, whatever. Let me know what you think about Marnie down in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to be pulling for her as well on the rerun. Good luck to anyone pulling, sincerely, and good luck to anyone skipping as well. And yeah, I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed.